The investigation into the suspicious death of a 5-year-old boy continues. In the early hours of Friday, July the 10th, 2015, a child was brought into the Alberta Children's Hospital suffering from injuries that family members attributed to numerous accidents. Hospital staff observed swelling and bruising all over his body, which was not consistent with the activities of a child of his age. On Friday, July the 17th, 2015, the child died from his injuries and an autopsy was completed. The autopsy confirmed that the child had swelling and bruising all over his body, as well as numerous other serious injuries. The child was identified as 5-year-old Eneas Emilio PERDOMO of Calgary. The investigation has now determined that Emilio was in good health upon his arrival into Canada in February of 2015, which is not consistent with statements provided by family members to date. Investigators continue to work towards developing an accurate timeline in relation to what happened to Emilio since his arrival in Canada and when he may have sustained these injuries. A suspect or suspects have not yet been identified. However, the investigation has narrowed to family members who had exclusive opportunity to Emilio since his arrival. Though family members have provided statements to police regarding what may have happened to Emilio, these statements do not account for the injuries that he sustained or what may have led to him being rushed to the hospital on July the 9th, 2015. Investigators believe immediate family members have information, but are reluctant or unwilling to provide it. The police investigation continues, and we continue to work with Emilio's biological family, who are currently residing outside this country, in order to move this investigation forward. I'll take your questions now.
So is this a homicide?
This is a homicide investigation.
Is this a, okay.
Can you please, go ahead. Can you please tell us about the relation with the kid and number of people in the family?
I can say this, that the relationship is one of extended family and that there are 5 people in the residence in addition to Emilio. So 5 additional family members.
Can you talk about the living extent? From what I gather, was he new to Canada, or was he visiting Calgary, or the relationship, I guess, between Calgary and where he might have been living and this, I guess, this other country?
So in his native country, he was born where he was born. His biological mother lives there. His extended family lives here in Calgary. And so he had moved here in February of 2015 to live with his extended family.
And by extended family, like aunts, uncles, cousins, stuff like that?
I can't provide you the details of what the extended family is, sir.
What was the native country?
I cannot provide you that information either. Just that
Adopted?
it's outside of Canada. Emilio was not adopted.
So is there any concern that this extended family here, that's not a focus, that they might pull up and leave? Is there anything being done to prevent that, or can you?
So the investigation is ongoing. We are looking at all possibilities in relation to flight risk, but at this time, there's nothing to indicate that.
Is extended family or Canadian residents?
I'm sorry.
Is extended family or Canadian residents?
The extended family
Yes.
are Canadian citizens.
Is his biological mother cooperating with you guys?
Yes, we have been talking with the biological mother since the beginning of the investigation, and the biological mother is extremely cooperative with the police.
Why can't you tell us where he came from?
Because the investigation is ongoing and I have to protect the integrity of that investigation, that is one key point that we are unable to provide you at this time.
So why was he away from the biological mother? Did she get him up?
Yes, it was a situation where an agreed upon a situation where Emilio came to Canada and at the consent of biological mother and at the consent of the extended family here in Canada.
What was
So
his
the father
status?
plays no role in this? Or?
Correct. Father is not in the picture.
What was his status in Canada? Like PR or visitor or citizen?
Emilio's status in Canada, so more than a visitor, but we are currently working with the immigration authorities to determine what his exact status was.
How difficult does it make it your investigation, a homicide investigation with individuals in another country, including another jurisdiction?
Definitely makes things more complex because obviously we have the jurisdictional boundaries that we have to deal with. The international governments are involved with both countries, and so it does complicate things.
Do we have a working agreement with that other country?
We have a good working relationship, yes.
What were the extent of Emilio's injuries when he came to the hospital?
Emilio was extremely injured. In relation to the specifics of his injury, I can't provide you with those, but what I can say is that we believe the injuries not to be accidental, but to be inflicted. I cannot provide you the details of the injuries due to the ongoing investigation as well. The medical evidence is still coming in on a daily, weekly basis from both the Alberta Children's Hospital and the Office of the Chief Medical Examiner. And so that evidence is obviously going to be very important to our investigation.
Do you have any indication as to what could have led those injuries, or are you still trying to determine that?
That investigation is ongoing, and we are still trying to determine what happened to Emilio.
Is there a specific?
These injuries have occurred over a period of time?
There were some injuries that did occur over a period of time. However, we believe that the injuries that he was admitted for on July the 9th, 2015, we're very interested in what happened on that day.
What are you hoping to gain by us coming to you today? The media, what are you looking for? What are you hoping comes out of this press conference?
We're simply providing the media an update in relation to Emilio due to the many questions that we field on a regular basis in relation to this investigation, being a child investigation.
Is there any specific cause of death? Is any specific?
There is a specific cause of death as ruled by the medical examiner, but we can't release that to you.
Do you have a location in Calgary or a vicinity you can tell us as to where the family might have been living?
It was southeast Calgary, in a residential neighborhood. I'm unable to provide you with any more specifics on that.
So can you tell us who Emilio was with that day or the day before? What can you tell us about those circumstances?
Sure. Emilio was in the exclusive care of family members on July the 9th and the days preceding that as well. Emilio was not in the care of any daycare or outside guardianship, if you will. And Emilio had not previously attended school in Canada.
So was he admitted to Alberta Children's by family?
Yes, so a call was made he was transported to a medical center and then rushed to the Alberta Children's Hospital.
Like a 911 call from the home, or?
It was actually Emilio was initially transported by family members to a medical center. Once arrival at that medical center, his injuries were such that he needed to go immediately to the Alberta Children's Hospital.
Was he unresponsive or just the same injuries, I guess, and the medical center just said, okay, you're a little more serious, they'll have to go to Alberta Children's?
The medical center staff determined that his injuries were life-threatening in nature.
Are there any other young children in that home?
What I can tell you is that there are 2 teenaged individuals and 3 adults. comprising of the 5 family members.
Are they like under 16, under the age of majority, or?
All I can tell you is under the age of 18, teenaged members.
So would you take steps then to contact child services to maybe look at seizing these other teenagers out of the home, considering what's occurred?
Our partner agencies are currently engaged in this investigation and are well aware of the situation.
But have those children been removed?
I can't answer that question.
Was the child ever interviewed by police?
I'm sorry, sir?
Was the child interviewed by the police when he was in hospital?
Was Emilio
Yeah.
Emilio interviewed? Emilio was not interviewed. Emilio was unable to be interviewed due to his physical condition.
Any other questions? You said there were 5 people in the household.
Yes.
3 adults, 2 teens. Are those now the 5 people you're looking at who had exclusive opportunity, or are there fewer than 5 that you're looking at? Can you specify how many?
What I can tell you is that we are looking at all 5.
Is there a language barrier here?
A language barrier. We interviewed all 5 individuals and obtained statements from all 5.
Did you need an interpreter to do this, or could they speak English?
To protect the integrity of the ongoing investigation, I can't answer that question.
And just to be clear, you're looking at all 5 and you've limited it to all 5.
Correct.
Can you specify if you came to Canada with any other family or siblings?
Emilio came alone.
Can you see why you came? Why you came to Canada from the same country?
Just that, as I've already explained, that it was a consent situation between biological mom and the extended family here in Canada.
Is it a case that the mother thought he could be better cared for in Calgary?
Possibly that's one of the scenarios. I can't speculate on that, sir.
Sorry, I missed your spellings of names and rank at the beginning. You could redo those?
Sure, it's Michael Cavilla, Cavilla, Staff Sergeant, Homicide Unit.
You said, I guess there's an update or something you can tell us about 16th Avenue?
Or did you have any other last questions? I just want to clarify, this is a suspicious death still, but a homicide investigation?
Correct.
Okay, we good on Amelia? Does anybody have any questions for Staff Sergeant Cadilla about Calgary Carruthers homicide?
Has there been any progress in finding the passenger in the vehicle?
So the short answer is no. We're continuing to work towards that. We have not identified any suspects for this shooting as of yet. What I can tell you is that this is not a random attack. It's a targeted attack, but with that being said, it's too early in the investigation to determine if the victim, our female victim, was a target or not.
You say you haven't had any luck in finding this individual that was also in the vehicle. Do you have any indication as to who they are?
So at this point, we're looking to the help of the public to assist us with this, because obviously it's very important that we identify this male individual. And so with that said, we do have a bit of a description we'd like to put out that this is a black male in his 20s, described as approximately 5'9", 6 foot with a very slim build. And as previously stated, he was in the victim's car when the shooting occurred. And after the shooting, left the car and fled in a westbound direction from 16th Avenue and 19th Street Northwest. We believe that this black male, was injured in the shooting. So any information that the public can provide us in relation to the identity of this individual would assist us greatly.
At what range was Ms. Carruthers shot? How close range was this?
It was in fairly close proximity. I can't provide you the actual specifics, but just in close proximity.
The the vehicle would have pulled up right opposite.
So more of a drive-by shooting scenario, correct?
Any description of a vehicle that people should be looking out for?
Yes. We do have a vehicle, a suspect, a possible suspect vehicle that fled northbound right after the shooting. We have a pretty vague description of this. All we have is a dark blue four-door car, possibly with tinted windows. And that was from witnesses at the scene.
Any idea on a motive, and could this be gang related?
We are still trying to establish, because we have no suspects, we're unable to comment on motive right now. We don't believe this to be gang related.
Given the nature of the area, I mean, CCTV should be able to tell you a little bit more about this vehicle.
Yes, 100%. So we have done an extensive canvass on the businesses in the area. They've been extremely cooperative with us. We have a ton of CCTV video that we've seized, and investigators are currently pouring through in order to identify, number one, both the male person who fled from the vehicle, and secondly, to try and identify the suspect vehicle that fled from the scene that would have been responsible for the shooting.
So to be clear, the male that fled from the scene is not a suspect, like you don't have a male suspect in.
Correct. We're looking for the male that fled from the victim's vehicle as a witness.
This may be an odd question, but is there some kind of working relationship, or do you guys monitor the hospitals to see if anyone comes in with, say, a bullet wound, or how does that work?
Yes, so right after a situation like this, obviously, we work quite closely with the various hospitals in the Calgary area as well as outside the city, and they are very good at notifying us should a suspicious type bullet injury come through their doors.
So nothing has come up.
Correct.
Out here.
That's correct.
Any idea of how many people were in the suspect vehicle?
We have no idea.